the VSN Arcade Podcast.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is?
Minion! You're under fire with your face!
Not the smartest way to greet the heavily armed group that just kicked in your door.
Head to virtualsportsnetwork.com and sign up for the forums today.
Hey, returning listeners out there in podcast land, welcome once again to the number 85 episode of VSN Arcade Radio, brought to you by virtualsportsnetwork.com. Sign up for the forums today. We're here to talk to you about the one and only thing that matters the most, and that would be video games. Without further ado, I have special guests with me this evening, regulars and everybody else, starting with the one and only Mr. Producer Man himself, Mr. Swarley. How you doing, man?
What's up?
Sorry it took you so long to get ready, but we are here, right now. Are you ready to do this podcast?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. Also returning this week, the one and only one-arm assassin himself, Mr. Nub. How are you, man?
I'm good. I got to play some games for a change.
Awesome.
New games. What?
New games.
New games.
Can't wait to talk about this new games. Without further ado, are you ready to do this podcast this week?
Yes, indeed. I got my Borderlands fill. I single-handedly got me and Bomber some experience. I leveled up. Med left.
Nice. Speaking of Med, returning this week, the infamous IamMedellin is here to talk about video games. Are you here to talk about video games, Mr.?
Well, I was talking about Borderlands earlier. That was like the worst decision I made so far tonight, was leaving the Borderlands early to join the call. I mean, I should have stayed there. I thought Bomber would join. I thought Bomber was coming in there and staying on the call. And so I got mixed up. So I missed out on that XP. After I avenged Bomber's death, man, it gets real in the Borderlands. You know how it is. Everything burns, baby.
Of course. Speaking of Mr. Bomber himself, Snowflake, one and only Mr. Widmer.
I'm addicted
Bomberooski,
to.
How are you?
I'm addicted to Twitch. Is this going to be broadcast on Twitch?
It should be.
I mean, we could have.
It really should.
I was going to try and talk you into streaming some Borderlands while we Twitch. I mean,
that game should be live streamed, man.
Someone needs to have a really powerful PC when we're doing this and just be live streaming something. Whether it's
you're that guy.
I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil who played it, but someone played Tomb Raider, and it would be some nice background noise to some Lara Croft jiggling.
Dude, I streamed from my PS4.
See, that's correct. Didn't even think about that. Well, next week.
Well, you can always buy Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for PC and do it yourself if you'd like to.
Well, there's no Definitive Edition for PC.
Yeah, that's just a regular PC edition.
Serious? Dang it.
Or you can do like I'm going to do, since I'm getting the game tomorrow. I bought a HDMI splitter so I can use my HD PVR.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Beautifully.
Nub's stream station right now is real good. Real good. Anyways, yeah, it's good.
I got to check that out.
Good to be here on a snowy Northwest Friday night.
I hope that you are ready to talk about some video games before you go out and get shit-faced tonight. So, without further ado, on the agenda tonight, obviously we're going to be talking about what we've been playing recently. We're going to be speaking about a review about, like we said before, Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition. Also, the one question everybody's asking that's on their mind right now, should you be gaming on a PC, as well as news on the Titanfall beta, Microsoft acquiring the Gears rights, Elder Scrolls Online that won't require PlayStation Plus, so on and so forth, as well as shout-outs at the end. So first and foremost, we're going to be talking about what have we been playing recently. Since I have not heard his voice in a little while, we're going to start with Med. What have you been playing recently, man?
Well, I was just playing the Borderlands, but I kind of got into it today. But I kind of got into it earlier.
How great is it that we're still playing Borderlands 2, what is it, 2 years after it's been released?
It's literally the best game.
It's one of those games that you could play over and over and over again and, have almost as fun the seventh time as the first time.
It's crazy.
Right? I mean, we're talking about multiple platforms at this point. We're talking about Xbox 360, we're talking about PlayStation 3, and, of course, the penultimate Steam-powered on PC, baby!
Sounds like you're super excited about a video game.
It's good, man.
It is.
It's good.
It's not just a video game. It's about the co-op experience with my boy Nub Nation and my boy Sean Whitmer doing it up in Pandora. Everything burns. And we got a guy who knows how to use a ninja. We got a guy who knows how to be a commando. And we got the sexy Maya. Bring it all in the sky, baby.
So here's what we need to put something to bed, though. Something to rest. And it's going to be, sorry, Med, you're going to lose a vote, I hope.
Uh-oh.
Med is playing, we're playing on PC. Med is using the dreaded the dreaded mouse and keyboard combo, and I just want to make sure that the majority of the podcasters are the people on this podcast are against that decision.
Yeah, that's gross.
For that game, yeah.
Right? You want to use that? Wait, Swarley, do you agree with the mouse and keyboard for that game?
No, for Borderlands, I would not use the mouse and keyboard.
Thank you, Swarley.
Look, if I can't use a controller, I won't buy a game. Like, I consider buying DayZ, and because the controls, like, they're all over the keyboard to begin with. And I hit multiple buttons with the nub anyways, so that shit was definitely not happening.
Let me say my piece on using the keyboard and mouse for a first-person shooter, because I believe that is the only way that I'm using a first-person I'm sorry, that's the only way I would like to play a first-person shooter from now on, and the only way that I actually use keyboard and mouse when gaming on my PC or anything else. If it's something like a third-person game, a fighting game, or any other genre like that, controller all the way. It's made to do it that way. But when it comes to playing a fucking first-person shooter, the amount of precision, the amount of dexterity, and the fact of fluidity that comes from the keyboard and mouse is unparalleled. Alright? Dude, comparing fucking playing keyboard and mouse on a first-person shooter playing controller is like going from standard definition to fucking HD. Like, it feels like you're playing underwater, playing it with a controller in a first-person shooter after you play it with the keyboard and mouse. Okay, no, I know you got special. I know you got, obviously some difficulty. I can see where that's coming from, but I mean, there's no question.
Single-handedly got us the XP. What got me and Bomber the XP? Huh? You died.
Oh, yeah.
It can't be that much better.
I can't do a shooter yet with the mouse and keyboard. I'm so accustomed to the console gaming world that part of
the reason that I died was also, I was trying to rush things just because, everybody wanted to do the cast, so I was just like, alright, fuck it. Because Bomber had already died, so he dropped out.
Excuses, man.
Hey, it's the truth, and that's what I'm going with.
Right? What else playing?
What else have you been playing, man?
Oh, what do you think I've been playing? Come on now. We do this every week. Know what I've been playing. Everybody knows what I've been playing.
Pokemans.
I've been playing Pokemans, alright?
Speaking of the 3DS. Speaking of the 3DS. Hold on.
50 hours in, alright? I got over 100 Pokemon, alright? Right now, I got a Charmander, I got a Bulbasaur, I got a Squirtle, I got a Fennekin, and I got a Froakie, alright? I would get a Chespin, but Chespin ain't shit, alright? Also got a Hawlucha, which is like a Rey Mysterio fucking an eagle and coming out with a Pokemon, alright? It's insanity, alright?
When you played 50 hours of Pokemon, how many nightlights do you go through?
Ooh. I go through a lot of batteries, is that what you mean? I get that big, Sam's Club battery pack. Put it in that way, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Speaking of the 3DS, though, you do know you can get Legend of Zelda 4 Swords for free right now.
Yep, just announced it.
Like the next 2 days, okay.
Download it.
Make sure, I'm trying to help you out, son.
Absolutely, thank you, I appreciate that. But I also got, which one? What's the latest Zelda game that came out?
Something.
Two Worlds?
Something like that.
Link Between Two Worlds.
2 Worlds, right?
A Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds. I got that like a couple weeks back. I got it for $30.
Haven't touched it.
I haven't touched it. As soon as I put about another 150 hours in the Pokemon to finally finish it, alright, because I put 50 hours in, I got 2 badges, I need 8 badges, I gotta beat the Elite Four, and I gotta catch like 1,000 more Pokemon. Alright, so as soon as I put like another 150 hours into it, I'm gonna put like another 100 hours into, Legend of Zelda. And then I'll probably end up putting another 100 hours into the free game that just came out, and then I'll probably get like the Ocarina of Time remake. And when you add it all up, my time on the 3DS will eclipse my time on the Vita by probably 1,000%.
Okay.
And ironically, that same percentage is how much more fun I'm having with it.
Oh my god. No, I'm kidding. Let's keep it rolling here. Bomber, what have you been playing recently?
Okay, so I've been doing the Seahawks are in the Super Bowl. I don't know if anyone heard about that. So I've been playing some Madden lately. I've been playing some my Seahawks franchise of old because I just like seeing the guys' names. And then I'm working on a creative player dynasty that I'm posting the videos of on virtualsportsnetwork.com. If you type a /forum after that, it will allow you to sign up for those today. It's really worth every second of it. And so I've been playing Madden. I've been playing Minecraft with Dizzle and Swarley. It is that game is the weirdest addiction to me right now. I love it. I like my map, okay. Dizzle's map is all right, but Swarley's map is really all I care about, and he has been MIA the last couple of days because he's been working on a project that is a little bit more important. He'll talk about, I'm sure, in just a bit. Besides Minecraft and Madden, I've been playing in the Borderlands with Med and Nub, which has been fun, Borderlands 2. And I'm trying to think, I think there's one other thing I've been playing. Oh, I know. On the iPhone. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about some gaming on my phone.
Boo.
I've been playing... Swarley, I couldn't agree more, man.
Candy
but
Crush.
I got addicted to Flappy Bird.
What's your high?
Right?
What's your high score?
What?
This is what I do. This is not good yet, Nub. This is what I do at work on the morning radio show during commercials. I sit there. We have about 6-7 minute breaks, and during those breaks, I play 7 minutes of Flappy Bird. It is the stupidest addiction, man.
That's literally like 20 deaths.
It is. It's weird. So I've got a couple console games. I've got a PC game I'm into, and I've got a iPhone game that I'm down with. I do not have one on Vita that I'm digging right now. But yeah, Minecraft has been sucking up a lot of my time. Also, some GTA 5 online with Handle. Only if he's on, though. How have we been doing? That's what I'm playing. It's been fun. Been a fun couple of weeks.
Cool. Nope. What have you been playing recently, man?
Well, of course, I've been playing Borderlands, as my two best friends have been saying.
The Borderlands!
I bought Knack, I believe this week or last week.
Have you played Knack?
I played and beaten Knack, and I'm about to play it again.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It was actually a very good game. I don't know what's wrong with people. It is as old school platformer as you can get, and I love that shit. I really do.
I think that might actually be half the problem, according to, like, said reviewers and stuff. Like, everybody's expecting it to be an easy game. It looks like a kid's game, and it's not.
No. And surprisingly, you look at these videos and the compression on these websites and such do not do the game's visuals justice. That thing looks about as good as close to, like, Toy Story 2 as we can get as far as CG is concerned, and that's throughout the entire game. It's actually very pretty, and it was indeed hard. Like, it got frustratingly hard for a while, and that final boss was a bitch. So I've been playing that. Of course, I'm in TGT, so I've been playing Madden. Of course, I play a little DC Universe and War of Thunder, things, usual things that I play. But I've been putting I powered all the way through Knack, and I loved every second of it. And I'm about to go through a hard playthrough now, where I'm sure I'm going to die 1,000 more times.
Cool. I would say that, go ahead, Bomber.
Oh, I was just going to say, with the TGT, what season are you guys in?
We're in season 2, week 7.
I'm loving that you guys are doing that, and I feel like we have really good online Madden leagues on Virtual Sports Network. I'm just extremely jealous of it. Very jealous of it. I just want to know how far you were in that thing. How's your team doing?
Well, last season was a terrible year for my Saints. I went like 1-5 in division games. The NFC South was by far the hardest division because somehow Pete decided he wants to be good at Madden. So Doug Martin had like just under 3,000 yards rushing last season. Like, dude had Doug Martin just bouncing off of everybody. Like, it didn't matter.
Cheese.
No, it was such cheese. It was. So I decided I'm going to do the same thing with Mark Ingram, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So this season's going a bit better, even though I did lose to both Ubel and Pete off some very untimely turnovers. But I'm going to get back at it, and I actually should have a game tonight against Teflon Donnie. And I did play a little Flappy Birds. I downloaded the other night. My high score is 38.
Gosh, mine is 22. I cannot get past that. Anyways, also one other thing, is there a lot of guys on DC Universe Online still? There's a game for PS4 as I try to find reasons to play my PS4.
Well,
that is one of the
PS3 and PS4 people.
Okay, is it still... there's enough people on there to make that game fun still?
Yes. Like, seriously, especially once you hit 30 and you can do all the instances and alerts and whatnot.
Are you paying or playing free-to-play?
I'm playing free-to-play. I am strongly considering buying a year. Maybe when I get that tax return, just buy a year. and not have to worry about it.
Now, is it like obviously, like you just said, you're willing to put money into this game? Is it still fun enough to play free to play in that game?
Well, you can only do free to play for so long. Honestly, you can either buy the DLC eventually, individually instead of paying for the subscription, because your money, like anything over $2,000 gets put in an escrow that you can't touch. You have to pay to get more out. But like I said, with the instances, you can start off with I think like 6 or 7 that you can get for free. But with every edition, there's a new instance that you can do and new in-game content. So like the latest one is the War and Light. It just introduced Red and
what? The Red Lanterns?
The Red Lanterns.
The Sinestro Corps? The Orange Lanterns? The Blue Lanterns?
The Orange Lanterns are there's the Red and Orange Lanterns that were put in on this one. The Green and Yellow were in, that was like the first DLC.
Sinestro Corps. But they got a lot of fleas. They got the leader?
I don't know. I haven't seen any of it yet because I have to have the DLC to get into those instances.
Oh, so if you buy the DLC, can you be an Orange Lantern, or you gotta fight against? You can be an Orange Lantern?
Yes.
No fucking way.
With every DLC, with every new piece of DLC, there's always a new power. So, like when Flash came in, they already had super speed, but they gave electric power. So there were people that were literally creating Cole McGrath from Infamous. Just this is what I'm gonna do. So
that is fucking awesome.
Yeah, they just added Red and Orange, and apparently Red is ridiculous DPS. So they are at a premium right now. If you can get a Red Lantern up to 30, and get into that content, you will have no problem getting into a group.
Oh,
which, I mean, technically right now you have no problem getting into a group. You just queue up and you get put into a group automatically. But I really want to get to that in-game content because I know I'm missing out on the War on Trigon, which was the last bit of in-game content, which I heard was ridiculous. So,
I fucks with the Orange Lanterns, man. I fucks with the Red Lanterns. How much is it for a year?
Yeah, it's like $120
for a year, but you get everything?
It's $15 a month, and you have access to everything.
Oh, shit.
It's like I said, it's $15 a month, so you're getting a little discount.
Okay, but if nothing else, it gives me another game to watch out for when, after I buy it.
Right, I mean, or you could spend $4.99 and just get the DLC individually.
Greatness awaits you, Med. Greatness awaits.
There's like 7 pieces of DLC that you can buy right now.
Oh, shit. Well, no, I fucks with the Green Lanterns mythos. Like, that was like something that really interested me originally. I had no idea that they threw in the Red Lanterns and the Orange Lanterns.
Like,
I fucks with the Orange Lanterns.
Literally like a week ago.
Oh man, if they do the Black Lanterns less, it's a must buy. They do the Black Lanterns.
Maybe they'll put those in on the War Light Part 2, because that's only Part 1.
Oh, that would be the shit.
They're not
be the blackest fucking night. Yo.
Okay. We'll do a DCO podcast a little bit later on. We do have to keep this going, though. Not that this is a bad thing. I actually...
Sorry, Dizzle.
No, it's fine. Like, I actually used to think about wanting to play it myself.
Yeah, and here's the thing. People were just talking about PS4 games besides Tomb Raider, which is a good thing, I think, at this point for PS4s.
We only got a month left before we start really getting into some shit.
I know, but right now it's nice to have.
We just gotta wait a little bit longer for that greatness. Just a little bit. We're almost there.
Speaking of greatness, though, let's talk about what Swarley's been playing recently.
Yeah, baby.
I purchased AC Liberation HD last week. Maybe last week? I don't know. Whenever that came out, I bought it. It was either a week or 2 ago. I ended up not getting through it before I started my Tomb Raider playthrough. Which I did play and beat over the last 4 days. I've been playing Forza 5 with the League on virtualsportsnetwork.com/forums. Sign up for the forums today.
What's that league called, by the way?
The Apex Racing Series.
Awesome.
And, that has been it.
Okay. Now, speaking of Tomb Raider, you recently have been put to the task of doing a review for Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. How far ahead are you on that?
I've got about half of it written. Going to finish it after the podcast.
Okay. Now, can you divulge little bits here and there as far as what you think about the game itself?
I mean, as most people probably know by now, if you don't, then I don't know what you're doing. It's the same game as we played in 2013. You get the DLC, which is not all that great because a lot of it was multiplayer, which was pretty much an afterthought. You get an extra tomb and some random shit like outfits, which doesn't really matter. But the game does look really good. You get some stuff that you would only see on the PC version back in 2013, like the hair. Although it's not quite as crazy as the PC version. I know some people had insane rigs who were able to just max out that TresFX hair. It looked a little odd at times. Like it was all over the place. But it looks really good. They completely remodeled Laura's face. Plants are probably the biggest thing that I've noticed because, when you get on those aging consoles last year, you kind of got these 2D plants that are kind of made into 3D with crossing 2D textures and whatnot. They completely redone that. They look absolutely fantastic. The lighting system looked really good. I was kind of sad that I couldn't take screenshots while I was streaming. Because when you get on those cliffs at nighttime over those burning towns and buildings, man, that looked really fucking good. But yeah, I did a long 5-hour stint last night to finish up the game, and that is my third playthrough since I got the original version. What was it, back in March last year? So yeah, I mean, it really comes down to, if you've played it already, it's probably not worth the $60 to you. If you haven't played it, then absolutely. But I mean, I enjoyed it just as much this third time, and it was awesome.
Now, I want to ask, how was the control scheme to you as far as using the DualShock 4 versus the DualShock 3? Does it feel better, especially with the touchpad involved?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a lot better using those nice new triggers for shooting that lovely bow and arrow. And then I thought it was, I didn't figure this out until pretty late in the game, but you can use the touchpad to light your torch. You can just swipe up on it to light it, swipe down to extinguish it. Oh, that was pretty cool. It was also pretty funny. The light bar on the DualShock 4, when you have your torch out, it like flickers red, orange, and yellow, kind of trying to be like a flame. I thought that was pretty neat. And I mean, they added in voice controls, which would have been nice, but I was streaming while I played the entire game, and it was just picking up everything that I was saying and thinking that it was a command. So I'd just be talking to somebody in the chat, and it'd bring my map up, and I was just like, this is just fucking annoying. So like after 20 minutes, I turned that off. So I mean, that was probably my only gripe.
So like you were saying before, you would definitely recommend it to folks who haven't played it before?
If you haven't played it before, you should absolutely get it right now. Like KNUBB is. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, KNUBB.
I will stream. Mine will look better than yours.
Well, that's just rude.
That's mean.
Is it?
So you're thinking about purchasing the game, Brown. Now, do you have any questions for Swarley since he's finished the game?
Nope. Going in with the balls out. Just let it happen.
That's how it should be done.
Right?
You will have a very fun time.
Like, that's why we watch, like, maybe an hour of your playthrough. I'm like, all right, had enough. I'm going to watch it and play it myself.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they brought the well, nobody really cares, but the trophy set, and they still insist on bringing in the multiplayer trophy set, like having to play up to level 16, things like that. I know you said that multiplayer really isn't that important for a game like this, Swarley. Do you think that there might be a multiplayer community as far as the PlayStation 4 is concerned, if not the Xbox One, for this game?
No.
There you go.
Is it really that bad?
I mean, it's not bad. It's just not...
Nothing special?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to it. I mean, it's one of those games that was just an afterthought. I mean, it just got put in just to be there. And I mean, it really, there's really no need to put it into the sequel.
It feels like a bootleg Uncharted 2 multiplayer, but not fun. Like, you still have your set of skills that you can put in, your equipment. You can pick out what characters you want whenever you level up to a certain level. Other characters will unlock. You can play as bad guys, good guys. You play as the good guys. Obviously, you play as the different characters in the story that you meet up and talk to. You play as the bad guys. You can play as cronies. And then you can play as like the main bad guy in the game. That's been running everything around with his group of Swarley, I guess, whoever they're called in the game. Other than that, I was really expecting there to be more as far as the multiplayer is concerned, but like you're saying before, it's like an afterthought. Like, I mean, it's cool that it's there, but really, there's no reason to play it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Bomber, I know that you said before that you were thinking about maybe looking into the game. Has Swarley's review of the game changed your mind at all?
Yeah, I've been loving watching Swarley's Twitch on that game, and I was watching and I was like, man, this game looks good. I was watching it first just because I wanted to see how it went, and then I realized I needed to stop watching his stream because I want to play it. Like, I'm sold on it. It will be a game I get sooner than later, for sure, and I'm all the way in on having to play that on PS4. I was always bummed out I didn't play it on PS3 or Xbox 360, and now it feels like it's kind of paying off that I didn't, because I am going to get to enjoy that game on the PS4, which will be great.
Now, men, have you had any thoughts about maybe whenever you decide you're going to pick up the PlayStation 4 to pick this up?
Oh, shit.
You okay, man?
What happened?
I was asking, like, I know you're waiting for greatness to happen around March. Are you thinking about maybe picking this game up when it will possibly be on discount?
What, Tomb Raider?
Mm-hmm.
I've already played it. No, why would I play it again?
Okay.
So be it.
Got it.
I mean, I've seen the streams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've already toasted this, so it's probably like me regurgitating the same shit I've been saying. But, I mean, it looks good as long as you compare it to the PlayStation 3 version, but it's not like you're praising the PlayStation 4 version as much as, wow, why the fuck did they put this ugly-ass filter on the PlayStation 3 version? I mean, it literally looks like someone came on the fucking lens.
Oh, my.
I mean, that's how it looks when you do a side-by-side comparison between the PlayStation 3 version and the PlayStation 4 version. I'm like, at the time, like, we thought, like, you know, this game was pretty good. Comparatively, like, wow, that PlayStation 3 version looked like shit. And it's not so much like the graphics and details or anything, it's just like, they put this awful fucking filter over everything. Like, why did they do that? And then I think they've overblown it a little bit about the hair physics and all that. I'm not gonna get into that again. I mean, I really liked it the first time around, and then I'm looking back on it now, second time. Shines a little bit off the apple of the story, whereas I praised it the first time, like, you know, being, you know, really hard-hitting, you know, hitting a lot of notes and tone and everything. Looking back at it, like, wow, there's a lot of really ridiculous, stupid things in this fucking game. And, you know, if you look at it that way, like, it's still enjoyable, but, like, on a different level. But it's not, I don't have as high a praise for it the second time around as I did the first. I still think it's a good game. I think I gave it, like, 4 out of 5 the first time. Like, I wouldn't go that far this time. But
So
with the second and the third playthrough, not really. Again, I've already played it on the PlayStation 3 version. Like, the gameplay was alright. It was great. Story, I've already seen it. So what's the fucking point? I'd rather play something new than, you know, something that's been reheated. Basically how I'm going to compare it.
Okay. So, for a microwave burrito, you give it a 3.5?
Nah, it's like a steak. It was really good the first time, but if you put it in the microwave and feed it to yourself the second time, it ain't nowhere near as good. I'll pass.
Okay.
Would you recommend it for me, though, Med, who has not played it?
Who has never played it? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There you go. If you haven't played it, go ahead and pick it up. Try to get it on a discount if you can. Wait a little while and it'll be on discount. Other than that, decent game. If you've played it, maybe skip. Okay. Now we have a question here as far as... Now, you typed this agenda, Swarley. Now, what are you meaning when you're asking, should you be gaming on a PC? Where are you trying to get at with this?
Well, as we know, our good friend Bomber here is new into the PC gaming.
Yes.
It's also something that I've kind of looked into. I looked into it heavy in the past. Didn't make the jump. It's something I'm kind of researching again. And today, our good buddy Maynard on VSN.
Shout out to Maynard.
He created a thread, and he wanted to console gamers to explain why they went console and refused to buy a PC, and it got quite a bit of feedback there today, and I thought it'd be a good topic to discuss.
Okay, who would like to start? Why do you guys like to play on PC? No, why do you like to play on the PC?
I'm indifferent. I feel like, with PC, ultimately, if you're a graphics whore, then PC is where you want to be. Unfortunately, to be that graphics whore, it costs a shitload more to actually do what you wish you could do. Like running Tress effects for Tomb Raider. You need a pretty banging graphics card, or maybe two, to get it to do what you want it to do. But there's just certain games that you can only do on PC, like the MOBAs, League of Legends, Infinite Crisis, Dota. Those. That's what I originally started playing with. Then I decided, Steam sale, always buy a bunch of games that I never got around to play, like BioShock, things like that. And the fact that I can use my controller, it is really no different for me.
Okay. Now, if you were going to... Now, I myself, I'm not a huge PC gamer. Like, I played PC a little bit back in, 2000 when I had the whole gateway boom and shit like that. Like, it was already ready-made, basically put onto the motherboard and things like that. Now, like you said before, it costs you upwards to, the thousands to actually do shit like that. If you're going to convince somebody who's either thinking about either doing console or PC gaming, if you're trying to convince them to play on PC, what would you tell them?
If I were to try and convince somebody to play, I'd try to figure out what their... It truly depends on what you want to play. If you're trying to play an RTS or, like I said, the MOBAs, something that you can only really play on PC, then they should have a general idea of what they want to do. But if you're just going to sit there and try and play games that you can get elsewhere, I can't be for and against. I can't tell you that PC is the end-all, be-all. Anyone that's like that is nuts. Just like the console fanboys, which they love to call me a PS4 fan, PlayStation fanboy, whatever. There's no real difference. Like I said, the fact that I can use a controller to play most of the games that I want to play is perfect.
No, but I thought you called yourself a PS4 fanboy.
I know, joke.
Yeah, I thought you were. Didn't we go through a segment where you're like, you got to own that?
Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm gonna put out a shtick, I'm gonna stick to it. But in this situation where you're trying to compare and contrast, generally speaking, PCs are obviously more powerful. Because they can constantly be upgraded. Mm-hmm. But as far as the games themselves, there's a lot of shit games on PC. I mean, let's be real.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of shit games on PC.
It's open source. Anybody can publish anything for a PC.
Exactly. Anybody can publish whatever they want. I mean, that's pretty much where we've come to with phones, which is why little things like Flappy Birds are such big deals.
Yeah, but for every Flappy Bird, we have a bunch of C, B, and Z grade knockoffs of established titles on Facebook games and shit like that.
Right.
But that's the beautiful part, I think, also, Nub, is the fact that there are so many people putting out so many games. You do get a lot of misses, but in that you get a lot of hits.
You end up with Minecraft.
Right. You don't have to buy a whole lot of, like, you don't have to worry about, you don't have to buy the bad ones, but they keep making them because people are just trying to make that next big thing. They're trying to get that next niche. And so when one hits, I feel like you have more of a chance to find that on PC because so many people are creating games all the time in that indie platform that is the PC. Like, that part's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah, you also get, like, the new ideas and the different ideas. The very experimental kind of ideas come out on PC first, like something like Broken Age or something like, even Don't Starve was originally a PC game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yes, to get a Don't Starve or something like that, you gotta go through a lot of misses, man.
Yeah, you do.
I find it odd recently. Like a lot of the better games are most of the Kickstarter games, like the Banner Saga that just came out, Broken Age that was mentioned before. Like those are good PC games, but a lot of times it really feels like if you want like a AAA title, like you wouldn't necessarily be stuck playing it on a console, but you would get those games earlier if you play on a console versus you have to wait a little bit, maybe get it at a downport on PC. But recently it just feels like if you're willing to put money into a project like a Kickstarter game, like you are going to get quality stuff on PC, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, it just like you said before, like even with that, like there's a lot of shitty Kickstarter games that are out there that are still waiting to be put out. If not, a bunch of people have managed to swindle folks out of hundreds of thousands of dollars and saying, okay, well, this game's going to come out like 2-3 years, then like they could just jet with your money. That's my only fear as far as like Kickstarter games are concerned. Like I see stuff like on Steam. I really like Steam, the idea of Steam, but I've seen hearing a lot of like shitty stuff that are happening with the Greenlight project. Like it sounds like almost anybody can be greenlit on that stuff for PC games. A lot of stuff sucks from what I'm hearing. So, what are you going to say, Bomber?
No, I was just agreeing with you. That's all.
Okay. Now I know, so like
it's a shock. It's a shock.
It's fine. Now I noticed that you were trying to get into the PC game as well, if not started doing it. What do you dig about PC game, Bomber?
It's weird, man. I like and hate. I really, really enjoy the Steam. I don't do anything outside of Steam. All right, I don't have games off of like Amazon or any of the other sites that I've been pointed to. I just have Steam stuff, and I really enjoy the Steam interface. Once you kind of figure it out,
Bomber, don't go to Origins.
Okay, I won't don't go to Origins.
Right? Stay away from Origins. Stay away.
Okay, so I don't use any of those. So I just use Steam, and for me, like Steam has so many games, I really don't know how to wrap my mind around it. And I feel like it's a really cool way to do it. They've got great prices on games, which to me is like the number one selling point. As much as it's great to have, I've got a good PC and I get really good graphics on these games, and I do notice a difference. I've never been a huge graphic, like diehard major graphics guy. I'm more into what's in the game, what makes it work. And so like Borderlands 2 looks really good on PC. It looks just as good to me. I really couldn't care less if it's on 360 or PS3. I'm going to have fun with it either way. But the prices of games on the PC, it is like a world of difference. I'm not dropping $60 for a brand new title. I'm dropping, $40. And then there's the Steam sale. You're dropping $20 or less. And that to me is like a really big selling point for getting into PC games. If I can still use the normal controller I'm used to, the graphics are just as good, if not better, and there's a community of people that are playing the game, which there are in the games that I'm playing right now anyways. Saving a bunch of money for me is a big deal. That's a huge selling point for PC for me.
Okay, cool. Ben, what do you dig about PC gaming?
I dig the whole aesthetic of it. When it comes to PC, even though y'all don't agree with me, I don't really give a fuck if y'all do. I mean, keyboard and mouse compared to playing it on a fucking controller. If I go back to playing with a controller right now on a first-person shooter, it will feel like I am playing underwater.
Yeah, you're right. I don't feel what you said.
That's exactly how I feel about it. When it comes to playing something like a third-person shooter or some kind of like third-person action game, like it'd be controller all the way. And the fact that I can't connect the controller to my fucking PC, I think that's pretty fucking cool. All right, the added graphics are always a bonus. Again, like Bomber already mentioned, the Steam sales, like it's incomparable. And there's also the little fact that a lot of the games on the fucking console right now are stagnant. All right, now it could have just been a deal where the closing generation was coming, so they decided we can half-ass it a little bit because everyone's expecting next gen anyway, which is kind of like what happened. I feel that's what happened with God of War Ascension, Gears of War Judgment, Batman Arkham Origins. Half-ass average reskin games, no real new ideas, nothing pushing things forward, just keeping the status quo where it is so we can sell a few extra units. PC, again, you got some new ideas on it. A game like Broken Age, which I'm really looking forward to, is something I probably never see on fucking consoles.
Yeah, the last game I beat was Gone Home. And I got it for like $3-4 on the Steam sale. And it's a game I would never, ever experience on the consoles. But I played it on PC, and it was a mind trip, man. The game was awesome. The game was cool. And I could only experience that on the PC. Plus, the games that everyone's really loving on PS3, 360, PS4 right now, I could still get on my PC and play. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to switch all the way, because I still am a fan of sitting on my couch with the controller in my hand. And I will always be a console guy, first and foremost. But it was pretty cool to know that all those games that I want, plus a lot that I'll never, ever think of seeing on my console, are right there on my PC.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is, like, right now I'm at a space where I am really bored with a lot of shit that's on consoles.
And
right
you're
now.
old.
A lot of shit is just rehashed. A lot of shit is just re-released. I mean, there's nothing new. There's nothing new that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? There's no new ideas that are pushing forward as of right now.
You are turning into Dizzle.
No, it's not that. It's just like I know, like there's nothing exciting coming out for the new consoles except for off the top of my head, Destiny, Infamous, and what was the other one? I guess Watch Dogs. All right. Oh, and what the fuck's that Tom Clancy game? The Division. All right. I'm excited for those 4 games. 3 of those games don't really have a release date. They're trepidation. They'll come out when they come out. Infamous is coming out this March. All right? Outside of that, what am I looking forward to? There's nothing really been announced. What I'm guessing, well, E3's coming soon, right? Probably saving all their big bullets for that. I mean, it's not going to be this way when there's nothing, there's no real big release schedule for fucking holiday 2014, is there? No, because they're probably going to release that shit on fucking E3. That's when they'll announce something like that. So that has a lot to do with it. Like, once I hear that, then, maybe I'll be excited for consoles again. Or maybe, again, they'll just rehash the same old shit, re-release the same games, call it Definitive Edition. That's a day. You know what I'm saying? With something like PC, again, the games are cheap. It might be rehashed old ideas. The prices are cheaper. Get some new ideas. I mean, I can have fun either way. If I can still plug my console controller into a PC, I can pretty much play any game out there. You know what I'm saying? Granted, the computers are different. I got a lot of friends that are on PlayStation Network. I still don't want to play with them, and I'm never going to leave it. I'll still have my PlayStation 3. Even if I do end up getting a PlayStation 4, I will still keep my PlayStation 3. I still got to get a lot of mileage off of it because I still got a lot of games on it that I intend to play. You know what I'm saying? My backlog is huge. I also got a lot of games on Steam that I would never play on a console. All right?
It's funny how you look at a PC and the initial purchase of it is a hit. It is. The PCs are expensive. So that initial purchase is a hit. Now, you're going to be able to do all the PC stuff on it that makes it, a computer. So you can do, for me, I get to do a lot of my work on it, which is fine and cool, so I get a value out of my PC for that. But in terms of gaming, if you get a PC, it's expensive. You're maybe talking double and a little bit more even of what your console is. But I would be curious to find out what your price spent on games on both console, when that evens out. When you save enough money on games for your PC, especially with the abundance you can buy, compared to the price you pay for games on your console. I'd love to see the point at which that evens out and suddenly that price for your PC starts saving you money because of the price of games, new games on consoles.
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, and I don't know, so I don't know, like you said, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an immediate thing, if it's going to be months or years. I just know that I've bought so many games for my PC. More than probably more than I bought for my 360. I bought a lot of games for PS3, but maybe more than I bought for my 360. I've bought more games for my PC that I've had a ton of fun with, and I spent hardly anything on, thanks to the Steam sale.
I really think it has to do with, unless like you have the exact numbers, like MPD and stuff like that, I really think it comes down to, like folks like us, who have access to PC and access to console stuff, like we can go back and forth. I think really it comes down to with the pricing of these games. Like they know that their main draw for console is just like we know that we can charge 60 plus for games because we know that you have nowhere else to go if you want to play games. Like if you want to play your copy of Madden, if you want to play your copy of Call of Duty, you're going to pay $60 plus DLC plus whatever else we can shovel in front of you because that's your only option. Now, if you have the option to play on PC, and like you're saying before, like you have access to games $20, $30 that normally would be $40, $50, if not less on console, then you're good to go. You'll still get this, like you're saying before, like the same if not better graphics. You have access to console controllers if that's enabled. Most games these days, especially on Steam, have that option on there. That's a big selling point. But the money's still in consoles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So that's why it would cost so damn much to play on PC or play on consoles because you have to pay $60 over and over and over again if you want the brand new thing. Like you see consistent commercials for Xbox and Xbox Live. You know, Microsoft was in the PC game for a little bit. Like they had Windows.
Games for Windows.
Games for Windows for a little bit, and then they are going to stop doing that during the summertime. But beforehand, they still had games going out for PC. Microsoft did, and now all of a sudden they're going to be putting all their chips into Xbox Live and things like that. So, because that's where they know where all the money's at. That's where they put all the advertising into. So that leaves stuff like Steam and like the upcoming Steam boxes. Like you were saying before, like you like to sit on the couch and play on your console. Now, if the Steam box didn't cost $600 to, I think, the priciest one was like in the 2000s.
Yep. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, probably more than that for that one with like the two Titans in there.
It was like $2,600.
Yeah, the two Titans and like what was it, like 10 terabytes or some shit like that?
Something dumb.
Some crazy shit. Like why the fuck would you need 10 terabytes worth of fucking storage?
It's crazy. That's ridiculous.
It's like you can get that or you can get a MacBook Pro.
Exactly.
So I would say, like, if it didn't cost so damn much to buy a Steam box or get the ability to get a Steam box, would you consider getting that so you'd be able to sit on your couch and play your PC games?
Absolutely, I would. I've actually thought about it, Dizzle. I don't know how much the cheapest one is going to cost. I'm already in it pretty deep with PC. You know, I mean, I spent I think $1,000 on my PC, which I know there's PC people going, that's not a lot. You can spend a whole lot more. But for someone who's a gamer and used to buying consoles, that's a lot of money. Like $1,000 is a lot of money. Now, I use it for a lot of work, and it's saved me a lot of hassle, and it has saved me being in my building for a lot of hours, which by itself is a huge win for me. But again, like I would consider buying if it was like a $300, $400. If they get to a $300, $400 Steam machine that simply allows me to stream my games from my console or from my PC to my TV, I'm in. I'm 100% all in, and that would be a big hit to ever wanting to get an Xbox One, and it would allow a little more dust to collect my PS4.
Okay, now we haven't heard from Swarley throughout this entire conversation.
I think he might actually be dead. I texted his mom. He said she hit tonight and alive.
Now, all these positives and negatives, Swarley, I know that you were talking about building your own tower and getting into big PC stuff. Do you have anything to add as far as why you really want to get into PC gaming?
Well, here's my thing. I mean, I'll admit right now, the Xbox One was probably a waste of money on my part. But I really love Forza, and I love playing with the guys on the site. But of course,
Swarley, sometimes, man, the money, and if you know, that's going to make it up eventually because your Forza League is awesome.
But I mean, I the next game that I get for that, I really don't know. It could be Forza Horizon 2 in the fall. So, I mean, looking at that, it's kind of I don't know if I'd say I regret the purchase, but it is kind of a waste. The PS4, until Sony starts giving us shitty first party games, I will be with their console first before anything because I've loved their games for a long time, and there's no way I would skip it. I mean, if I couldn't play Infamous in March, I would cry. But at the same time, there are things... Now, half of my reasoning for getting a gaming PC is because I'd really like to stream some of my older stuff, like from my PS3 and my PS2 and my original Xbox and some of my other stuff, which I just can't do without a good PC. I'd also like to, get some of those awesome RPGs like the Bethesda games, like The Witcher 1, stuff like that, and, throw some awesome mods on there to make the gaming experience even better. So, I mean, yeah, that's basically it for me. I mean, like I said, it's PlayStation's first and foremost because their games for a long time have just been fantastic, but I'm ready to dive into PC.
And Swarley, I think your point was a good point. The other thing with the PC, it's been really fun, and NUBB's been helping me out a lot with it. But it's been fun to try to start like a Twitch channel and be able to stream Grand Theft Auto Online last night. Stream my Minecraft where I totally screwed over Dizzle last night.
You're totally fuck ass for that,
Honestly,
by the way.
Man, I treated Dizzle. I actually felt bad about it when I was done.
No, you don't. You're good.
Yeah, I did, because I left all my stuff. I died and left all my stuff, which had a completely full inventory. I just left it scattered across his map. And I left and thought, you know what, that's just there, and didn't go anywhere. That was kind of a butthole move. So, but the fact is, my stream isn't anything popular. It's not anything cool. But to me, it's fun to be able to stream that stuff. And that is worth the money for a PC, I think. If you have fun streaming stuff, that is another huge selling point for a cool console, for a cool PC.
Yeah, I mean, I love the interaction that you get on a channel. And I love streaming stuff from my PS4, but there's so much stuff that I have here from older consoles that I just can't stream through my 3-year-old MacBook or my really shitty older laptop. I mean, like, I'd love to do an Uncharted marathon. I'd love to stream The Last of Us or Grand Theft Auto. I'd love to go through some of my games from my older consoles, like, GTA Vice City or something like that, and I can't do it, and I'd really love to be able to.
Well, I for one, I know that the Xbox One is going to get there. It's going to get it, but I for one would love you to be able to stream your Forza League, for instance. I would love to watch your Forza League races, because I'm not good at racing games, but I love the community you guys have built with Apex Racing, and I would love to see what you do with that. Like, that'd be a cool thing for me.
Yeah, that would be a cool thing. Come on, Microsoft. How about you stop being a bunch of fuckwads?
Speaking of streaming on your consoles versus your PC, what do you guys think of the PlayStation 4 streaming community?
Okay, this is weird to me, Dizzle. I'm glad you brought this up, because I was going to ask Nub Nation about it. He streams his PS4. He's just got... What'd you get, an HD splitter, right, Nub?
Got a splitter so I can use my HUD.
Okay, so he streamed NBA 2K14. Now, I've been watching your streams, Dizzle, and I've been watching Swarley streams. I love watching. I love when it pops up on my phone and it says, Dizzle has just started streaming. I always hop on and see what you're streaming and watch for a little bit. And I watched Nub, though, the other night stream NBA 2K14. It looked 10 times, maybe not 10 times, but it looked extremely better than what the PS4 streams. Nub, it does, doesn't it? It looks 10 times better.
It was good. It was good.
And that's not a shot at the PS4, because I get it. They're trying. The fact that they're trying, they should get awarded for that. That's a huge deal. But streaming through his PC, it looked so good. It really showed off the PS4.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to, like, obviously, no console is going to beat PC, because you can, like said before, you can consistently build a bigger, better PC always. Yep. Always. Like,
yes.
No way a console can beat that unless you upgrade your consoles, in which case you're consistently paying upwards of thousands of dollars every few years to get, like, the best new version of that console. I would say, as far as streaming is concerned, like, obviously with the upcoming Xbox One, depending on what they do with their model, there's obviously going to be limitations when it comes to streaming through Twitch. Through Twitch's server farms and things like that. Like, when everybody first got the PlayStation 4, like, all I would hear through the PC streamers on Twitch, they consistently bitching about that. Like, everybody that was streaming through PlayStation 4, rather, was just some shit with Playroom and just saying, hey, let's hang out, or whatever. Which I find simultaneously hilarious and cool as far as trying to build your own community as a personal thing. People actually getting to see you and interact through the camera. And then you'll see streams of like 1 or 2 people, just like you would see that on PC, where like you obviously have a limited range of games that you can play on PlayStation 4. Rather, you try to get games through PlayStation Plus or buy them straight off a disc or digital. I really think there's a big disconnect because people on the PlayStation 4 on consoles in general don't know how to brand themselves through Twitch, so nobody will ever watch your streams. Yet you still have this glut of people who are willing to stream your games and willing to show off, like you're saying before, show off to a community rather not like you would build a community. Like Swarley is building a community through his Twitch, and he's streaming through his console.
I think there is people just gotta watch the right channels before they start. I mean, if you watch some of the really popular guys, they really know what they're doing. That's kind of. You really have to bring an entertainment factor into streaming on Twitch. I'm obviously preaching to the choir when it comes to like. You have entertaining people on their PC streams through Twitch that have been doing that for years. Like, they built up their communities. They actually build a persona for that shit. Now, then you see people that are streaming now today that maybe get 2 people.
Okay, so here's what I like. I like that, Dizzle, because I think that the Twitch community is, because of the addition, obviously it's been hot on the PC. But I think with the addition of PS4, it's become more well-known. It was in the news a lot, whether it was a story about the Xbox One not having it yet, or PS4 having it. A lot more people started getting into Twitch. That's just a fact. What makes, for people who are looking to get into that, like, besides, you say just being entertaining, but explain to me what that means for someone who's looking to make a Twitch page. You got someone out there who's got a PS4 and they're like, okay, I'm going to jump on, I'm going to make a schedule, I'm going to tell people when I'm doing what, when I'm doing this. What makes it entertaining?
Sticking to a game, like, not... Like, I really hate it when I'm watching somebody and they're playing one game one night, then they're going to another game another night, another game another night.
You hate my Twitch channel then. You need to unfollow.
Well, no. I mean,
I'm like,
he does it hourly.
I mean, you're playing multiplayer, so it's a little different.
Yeah, but I should rename mine ADHD, like ADHD, twitch.tv/ADHD. If I could get that, I would do that.
But I mean, like, the things that I've learned from watching the people that I watch is you always got to constantly be talking and interacting. I mean, even if there's nobody there, just commenting on your gameplay. I mean, I know me, I usually never, when I'm browsing for a new channel, I usually never stop by somebody who doesn't have a mic. Because, I mean, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're always talking, always interacting with the chat, that's usually the number one thing for me. Yeah, I mean, that was always the best advice that before I got into streaming was always talking. If you have people in your channel, always interacting with them. I mean, outside of that, it's not near as important what you do, but yeah.
Other than getting, and it's horrible to say, other than getting Twitch money and becoming a partner with Twitch after streaming for a little bit and being able to make some income off of just streaming video games or whatever else you like to do on Twitch, I think it has come down to it's an outlet to be creatively entertaining. Like you want. Like Swarley was saying before, like just having the interaction with other people and actually having people wanting to see what you do. Rather, like I've seen people who normally, there's a guy on Twitch, Lethal Frag. Every Saturday he does a cooking show. Now, for folks like me, that's odd. Like I can see a cooking show on television, but to see it live, like see somebody actually cook live and show you how to do something, that's interesting. it really feels like, I think somebody had mentioned it before online, Twitch really feels like the new television. It's actual live television. It's not taped. It's not scripted. It's not anything else. Like, anything can happen. Like, if somebody's playing a game online, they can lose their shit and just rage quit at any time. Just flip out. Or they can have a nice time and, interact with thousands of people. Like, I see people online getting upwards to 5,000, 6,000. I think there's a group online right now that hits like 23,000 people, watching them all simultaneously do Mario speed runs. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, earlier.
Talk about insane. If you really want to talk about insane,
other than LOL or LOL
the SCS, the LCS, literally is like hundreds of thousands of people to go watch professionals go play League of Legends.
Yeah, I don't watch that stuff.
And you should, because that's some entertainment shit right there.
Why is it entertaining to you, Nub? What makes that one entertaining?
Because it's like watching. I'm not gonna say like watching a football game, but it's literally like watching a sport because there's the drama, and you're watching some really good strategy and teamwork and things like that on a video game.
Okay, what you got something that I've been dying to talk about, and I was trying to figure out how to interject it, but I think this is the perfect time because I think League of Legends is one of the games, or like Dota 2. But I really think that you are seeing it's really raw right now because Twitch is fairly new. It's newer, but I think you're getting
newish.
Really close. What's that?
Newish. It's been around for a little while.
Newish.
Not as popular as it is now, though.
It's been around for years, but it's really picking up steam. And I think that you are going to start seeing it to be, you compared it to sports, and there are a lot of people who like that stuff, man. And that it could become that next, you've got your days of the week, you got your Monday nights, Wednesday nights, Friday nights, and it's legit. And you're like watching it, it's like another sport.
It really can happen.
I know it's real close, and I know some people would argue that it's there right now because they watch it. It's not obviously mainstream enough because I feel like I'm pretty deep into knowing a lot of video game community stuff, and I don't know a lot of leagues and stuff as that. But I think you're going to see that soon, man. I think it's going to bust out where you watch some of those games that are really competitively multiplayer, and some of those games that are like real advanced chess, video game style. You can see some leagues start to pop that are really legitimate, and it becomes the real deal.
Right, we're heading toward the next step ahead from MLG.
Yes,
very soon.
What it is. It's MLG. MLG didn't have Twitch when it started out.
Right.
And I think if they had started out now, it would be a completely different scene for them.
Yeah, I just find it so, like, I used to think about, like, seeing everybody that was playing COD and playing Unreal Tournament and playing fucking Halo and just thinking, okay, well, that's okay. You guys are in tournaments, you're making money, and nobody's actually seeing you do this unless, like, maybe you do something on Justin TV, which eventually turned into Twitch. It's the same thing, obviously. And now, like you said before, it's insane to think that people are willing to take time out of their day to watch somebody play a video game. It's not just Mario Brothers.
I absolutely love turning on a video game that I'm playing and then also turning on one of my favorite Twitch channels and doing that. That's one of my favorite things to do at night.
Yeah. You remember Madden Nation, obviously.
Of course.
You get together now, and you throw together the guys who are in Madden Nation, and they do an actual Madden League online. Saturdays, Sundays, they play their games, and they're playing an online league. I feel like that would be huge. I feel like that would have been, like, for Madden Nation, that would have been the perfect audience, is a Twitch audience of people who can go, okay, you've got Cornstar, the former Madden Mania guy, against, I don't remember any of the other guys' names, but so-and-so, they're going to be playing Saturday at 3 o'clock. And you're like, all right, Saturday at 3, I'm watching these guys go at it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I could see it happening in the video game world. I really could.
Well, that was at the height of Madden, so you're not going to see anything like that.
I get
sports games is not what it used to be. I mean, with this exclusivity between companies and licenses, sports games are taking a large fall. So,
no, you're absolutely right. But I'm just saying, like, that's the kind of thing I think you could get to. It's like it's even scheduled things where you like see it. You like go to a page and it's like who's playing when at what time.
I mean, that's pretty much how the LCS is right now. Like days and weeks before, you see these matchups and you're like, all right, I'm going to be watching at noon, and I'll catch the 3 o'clock game, You know, that actually happens with those League of Legends tournaments.
See, and again, that's because I'm not into that yet. I figured, like I said earlier, I'm probably way off on this. I don't know about it yet. I'd love to, but man, shoot, then I'll get in the fantasy league. I'll get my fantasy League of Legends on.
Fantasy League of Legends, I believe it.
Yeah, I mean they have.
It's going to be a real thing.
They have games online right now where you get randomly picked out heroes before you even play. And if you're really good into League of Legends, if you're really good into Dota 2, or the original Dota, they still have people playing that online as well. If you get really good into that, like, you automatically know what character you're playing as and what strategies you get. And just to see that online with hundreds of thousands of people playing, that's cool. But we can further on this conversation about Twitch later and how awesome it is. But we really need to keep on moving on as far as the news is concerned with this episode. Now, Swarley, you wanted to talk a little bit about the Titanfall beta?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had that Titanfall alpha a little bit ago. People enjoyed it. It was closed to, I don't know if they gave us a number on how many people they invited, but we had a couple people on VSN who got in. And then I remember it was kind of stupid, but there are a few people that bitched about not getting picked, and I was just like, who fucking cares? You're probably the type of person who would get in there and wouldn't provide any type of feedback, which is what those things are for anyways. But now they're given an open beta, and what is it going to be, like Valentine's Day weekend? Valentine's Day?
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, like I recently listened to a podcast, and somebody had broken NDA, even though their name wasn't mentioned, and they were talking about how when they got into the beta for Titanfall, they had mentioned something about how they were pissed about, oh, well, you know, they only picked out X amount of players, and they felt like it really wasn't a proper representation of the people who were going to be playing Titanfall. And the people on the podcast were like, well, they really weren't picking you to have you have fun playing this game.
Right.
They wanted you to go on to this, because the word beta being thrown around right now doesn't mean the same thing that it should be meaning now. Like, people automatically think like beta equals demo. It's not a demo.
Yeah, I mean,
PC ruined that. They really did. Like, Starbound is in beta. You know, those games have ruined the word beta for console guys.
Yeah, I mean, they throw those out. They throw those tests out there so they can understand if their game's going to work in the current form that it is, and, you know, for people to find stuff that's wrong with it and provide them feedback so they can get the best working game that they can.
Yeah, like when they had the beta like the week before Battlefield 3 hit for consoles and for PC, like, people were like bitching out of their minds about how, oh, we only have one map to play, or maybe two maps, depending if you're playing a PC, and look at all this, like the draft neck dudes and the people who can go under the map and shit like that. Like, nobody was reporting that to EA and to DICE. So a lot of that shit got passed on into the actual game itself. Now you see a game like Titanfall, I don't know anything about it, and I really want people to get early access to games, like Bomber was saying before, like on Steam. I really would like people to get early access to games to see how these things are being developed, whether or not there's a fee to get in for these betas or not. I just really feel like people, and it's been mentioned before from other people, I really feel like people play these betas for days, hours, weeks at a time, and then get fully burnt out on these games before like the full version is put out there. So you see all these people who like played the Titanfall beta to death, and then when the real game comes out, they're just like, whatever.
I will say I am kind of excited that they are doing an open beta because personally it's not a game that is on my planned list of games to purchase this spring.
Agreed.
And, you know, now that I get to test it out, I mean, not that I'm going in with that mentality like, oh, I'm just going to enjoy this, and, you know, if I see anything wrong, fuck them, I don't even care. Because that's not what I'll do. But it will be nice to be able to test out the game to see if it's something that I do want.
I fully intend on playing on PC.
What?
I said I fully intend on playing on PC.
Yeah, and that was another nice thing that they're opening it up for both Xbox One and PC.
How do you guys feel about a new IP like this that is it's not supposed to be like the COD killer or whatever, but how do you guys feel about a game like this being given to folks like us to play versus a smaller game? You think it's a cool thing for them to do for us, or just, it's just another demo to play?
I think it's good that they're doing what they're doing, because it's one of the most hyped next gen games coming out of the gate, and they gotta know that it's gonna work perfectly when it drops in March. So I like what they're doing.
Cool. How about you, Nub?
It's nothing special that they're doing. It's not the first time games have given us betas or demos or whatever you want to call it. A lot of people use these things as demos, and we've already discussed it. That's incorrect. But it is something like groundbreaking, truthfully.
I guess the biggest thing for me is they gotta know that it's not gonna be Battlefield and it's gonna ship completely busted. Because it's an online, it's a multiplayer only game. So if that's broken, then you are just fucked.
I just want to make sure the betas are used properly, and I don't know what exactly they're looking for. I guess my dream would be that they are sending back, your game sends back feedback, and for guys who do a great job and send back personal feedback on things they find, that's great. But for people who get into betas, maybe the younger audience, they're not good. They're just getting it to have fun with it. Like, I would hope that when their game glitches out and cuts back to dashboard, that sends something back to the programmers that says, here's the issue, here's what they dropped. I would hope that happens. I do not know how it works, but I would hope that they are able to benefit off of people who are not going to take the time to write something up and say, okay, hey, I was doing this and this happened and it didn't work. Like, I would hope they can take info from everyone who has the beta. I've paid for betas, like the Starbound beta. Starbound is in, it's pre-release. I paid $15 to get it for PC. I wanted to play it. I don't know that because I paid money, I didn't feel like I had to write anything back or, submit a review on what I thought because I paid for it. But I'm hoping that when I play it, it is sending back info, and that's why they're releasing all these patches as they start to get closer to their real release.
Do you feel because you didn't put in that feedback that if Starbound turns into a game that eventually, I know that maybe you'll go back and play it when it's actually the full version to play, do you feel that if it's something that becomes something so drastically different from what you originally played in a beta that you wouldn't want to play the game anymore?
I don't know, man. That's a good question. I wish I knew the answer to it. I think that they have done a pretty good job, and I guess I would just base my answer off of what they've done with it so far. They've kept the game pretty true to its core, pretty true to what came out when I first got it, and with all the upgrades, they've been pretty good. There's been a couple things that I thought, why did they do that? But I've been pretty in on it, and the core gameplay has still remained great. So that is one that when it does finally come out with the finished product, I'm all in on. I think that will be a very cool game. Now, obviously, like you said, if the game is drastically different, I would probably be a little bummed out about it.
Okay. Let's move ahead a little bit. I'm not skipping in all these things, but I want to, flip the news headlines a little bit around here so we can get the most out of Bomber before he has to go and get shit-faced. Let's talk a little bit about the announcement of online franchise for MLB 14, the show.
Oh my gosh, Dizzle, the reason I bought a PS4, let's be honest, the reason I bought a PS3 was MLB. That's the reason.
That was my reason for a PS3.
Absolutely, Swarley, and I know you and I are boys on this one. The reason I bought a PS4, I wanted to buy a system on release, so that's why I bought it on release. But the reason I chose PS4 over Xbox One did not have anything to do with the $100, didn't have anything to do with the fact that I like my PS3 so much, and I really like Sony. It is 100% MLB. That is the reason I am a Sony guy. I believe MLB The Show is my favorite video game franchise of any video game franchise. I love them so much. And this announcement to me, I was skeptically excited, I guess would be the word. Because the online has been so frustrating with MLB The Show. I know some people, it is a deal breaker, and they don't buy the game simply because of the online being broken. I would buy the game every year just for the single-player experience, whether it's Road to the Show or just franchise mode. I enjoy it that much. But if they get the online right, and I think online franchise, oh my gosh, this could be the greatest. This could go down as the best sports game ever.
It could be. Hopefully, it'll be really great for leagues. But even for people that don't even plan on playing each other, like say me and Bomber got into an online franchise, and we were teams that maybe matched up like a couple times a year. I mean, just being able to run through the same franchise together, halfway across the country, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yep, I agree, Swarley. There's something magical with MLB also because guys like Swarley and I. Swarley, you did Road to the Show, right?
Oh my God!
That's the answer. What Swarley just said is the answer to that mode. It's one of the greatest video game modes there is.
It is the absolute ultimate time suck for me.
And so an online franchise. Then for guys like us, we are not alone by any stretch of the imagination on this. Road to the Show is a big reason why people buy that game and one of the biggest sellers for that game. Probably the most played mode on that game. The fact you can do an online franchise, it's Swarley, it's me, it's He Who Should Not Be Named, and maybe a few other ones. You got 5-6 guys in this franchise. You're not playing each other a whole lot. The fact is, you can always log on and, maybe you advance the game every 3 days. Even if you advance it every day someone does it, you don't get all your games in. That's so fun to be in a community where your franchise, like Swarley said, is all the same. Meanwhile, if you're not playing your game all the time or you get ahead of everyone else and you're there behind, you got Road to the Show to fall back on. I just think this is a great opportunity for MLB just to flex his muscle a little more and say, we got it going on with this game, everyone who likes sports games. And if I'm a sports game creator for another game like Madden, 2K14, I know FIFA's real popular, but you look at this game and you go, look at everything they're doing. They're hitting it out of the park. And no pun intended with the baseball reference, but they really step up and do it right there with the MLB series.
I mean, it's really great because even if there's just like a handful of guys in an online franchise, instead of having to say, make this huge post about what's gone on all season and here are my stats and this is what I'm going for, you can just text your buddy and be like, hey, check the stats of what just happened in this game in our franchise last night. The guy can boot up his system and see what the other guy did, or he can go look at the season stats and say, hey, my buddy over here is going for the Triple Crown with one of his players, or he just made a blockbuster trade. That's pretty awesome. So that's my body's ready.
Like, let's not lie, Swarley. You and I will have some sort of MLB online franchise this year.
My boner says yes.
I don't even like the MLB, but I bought the show.
It's a good game. It is.
Man, I'm a casual sports fan. I'm not afraid to admit it. Other than being a Jacksonville Jaguars fan for some strange reason.
That proves right there that you're a casual sports fan.
You like them because of their helmets.
I like them because I don't like the Dolphins and I don't like the Bucks. That's about it. Yeah, I want to root for one Florida team, and I'm quote-unquote stuck with them because I don't want to root for the Pats. I played Road to the Show a little bit on PlayStation 3, and I dug it. Just so being able to play as quote-unquote myself in like the fucking dirt leagues way down in like fucking Blamtucky, Iowa somewhere.
Man, that was some of my favorite times with Road to the Shows when you're playing in the minor leagues.
Dizzle, you like RPGs. You can get down with an RPG every now and then, right?
I like the idea of being able to play a game and then like you play a game like Borderlands and they give you tasks to do, and then having the idea of doing that in a sports arena, no pun intended, where it's like, okay, well now hit a ground out to first, or try to hit a double, or really just fucking haul back and swing. Hopefully you'll get like a home run. I want to see you try to hit a home run. And then you get those checklists and it gives you points. Like you're saying before with RPG elements, you get those points and you can advance your player until eventually, hopefully you work your way onto a Major League Baseball team and then maybe win the World Series on that team. That's awesome to me, just to be able to see that, not have to, and then also having the option of, I don't have to fully run the entire baseball team through the league, through the year, 162 or so odd games.
That can be overwhelming.
Playoffs and stuff like that. Like, that is fucking crazy for, like, again, I say I'm a casual fan, but then you'll see another casual fans like, I kind of like baseball because I like to watch the playoffs, or I like to watch my team because they're the hometown team. But I'm not, like, super invested into it. Like, you play a game like The Show, or you try to jump into a game like The Show at first, like you said before, it's fucking overwhelming. But to have Road to the Show and be like, you could just play as your dude. Like, I like playing outfield. You see that all the time in PE whenever we play baseball.
Yeah, he's playing on the outfield.
Yeah, you can do that. You can play any position that you want. You can play as pitcher, you can play as catcher. Just having that option there is fucking awesome. And to see it being able to, like, what would happen if, hopefully they'll do it, if not this year, a little bit later on down the line, do an online franchise where everybody plays as their own Road to the Show player. If you can't do that already, like, do your own Road to the Show player through the league.
That'd be cool. That would be really cool.
So I want to see that personally. That would get me invested into the series. Like, you have your player on the Giants, and then Swarley has his player on Boston. Maybe my player would be in the Marlins. And then we would eventually meet up with each other in the year.
So does that mean the first year that you do good with the Marlins, they're going to just sell you off?
They're going to fucking trade my ass down to fucking Kansas City.
The hard part with that, Dizzle, and this is funny you mention that because I thought about that last year. As I lay in bed with, a sleepless night of thinking about video games, I thought about that. I thought, well, the online for MLB doesn't work very well. Why don't they try, like, online a Road to the Show? The hard part that I always see with this is a Road to the Show game takes, what, Swarley, 10 minutes?
Yeah. Unless you're a pitcher.
Yes, that's true. You then worry about, and still, we don't have to worry about it because we don't make the game. And these guys are paid money, and some of them good money to create stuff like this because they're good at it. The thing I'd worry about and how they figure out is, it took me 10 minutes to play a game. Now I've got to wait for everyone else in my league to play their game before I can play again. And it's not like a Madden league where, you invest an hour and 15 minutes into a game and you feel like you got some value out of playing a game in an online league. When you got to play 162 games and you get 10 minutes and you have to wait a day or two for someone to advance so you can do 10 more minutes, that could get a little bit hairy. Now, there's a lot of ways you can get around that. You could do series, you could do stuff like that. I don't create the game, someone else can.
I'm just thinking my thought process would be to open up a week.
Yeah.
So however many games you have over a week.
And then you would run into potentially playing someone else, but that would make more sense if it's in a week now. Because maybe you should make video games and get paid the big bucks.
Literally what I go to school for.
I mean, hell, there'd be some nights when I'd be playing Road to the Show, I'd get through like half a season.
Right. That's the thing. And we're used to that. So when it slows down in an online league, I get worried about the interest level staying high. But then again, once you play your week, just jump offline and play your Road to the Show that's your single player one.
I'm ready to see what you can do with Robbie Cano.
I'm going to work you over with him. I'm going to work your body with him.
I think it'd be cool, like, as a starter thing, before doing separate teams. Everybody has multiple Road to the Shows, but they're all on the same team, so you wouldn't have to worry about advancing. You're all playing the same game. I think that'd be kind of neat.
Yep, I agree. I think that's the next step, Dizzle. Hey, I got to get out of here in a second. Can I bring up one last thing? I don't know if it was on the agenda.
Do it.
Go ahead.
I am ready. My body is ready for Road to the Show and MLB. But is anyone else in this podcast excited for, after the new video was released this week, for Elder Scrolls Online?
Nope.
No one is, are they? Except for me.
I don't like the fucking fee.
I
have to put into it.
The fees are holding me back, but I'm going to do it.
Look,
thank you, Swarley. Fees are a killer. They are a huge killer. Now, they add the fee because they know they're going to make the money on it. People are going to pay the fee, and it's going to work for them. It sucks for normal guys like us who know they aren't going to be able to spend the amount of time that those guys who just dive into MMOs are. But I'm willing to pay the fee for a summer and a little to see what it's like, because I'm really into that universe, and I'm into seeing a potential cool Lord of the Rings or a setting, the old time, but with the Skyrim style, the Elder Scrolls story, and all of that online.
I played it.
What do you mean you played it?
It's a beta.
You didn't
Are you allowed to break the NDA?
I'm not allowed to break the NDA.
No one has played the beta. No one has. You're lying.
I'm lying?
Yes.
Would you like a screenshot?
Yes.
You can't post on the internet, though.
I know. So just
this is how I'm going to get in trouble. This is involvement right now.
Put it on your Twitter. Tweet it to him.
Text it to me right next to the picture of your poop that you text me, all right?
Right. I can tell you
You actually did that. Oh.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Next poop, you're going to be shit-faced drunk, and it's going to be a picture of my poop on your phone. I can tell you this. Most people don't know this. They literally post your login name, your screen name for your character. It's like kind of transparent, but it's posted all over the image. So if you do take a screenshot, your name is literally posted all over the screen.
Yeah, they're not
all
dumb.
the corners.
They're not
all the corners for that particular reason.
They are not dumb. I don't know. I'm excited. I'd love to talk to you sometime about it when you can talk about it. But I'm personally very excited about that game. I think it looks really cool. I like MMOs if they're really well done, and I think that could be one that really locks me in. The fact that I can play it on my PS4, and I know DC Universe Online is on PS4 and it's an MMO, but this one's made with the PS, like knowing everything about the PS4 and knowing what it can bring to the table. I'm all in on it. So I saw that new trailer this week. I'm real excited about that one as well. So those are like the two games for PS4 right now. You bring me MLB The Show, and then I wait around. I know a lot of people are into Infamous. I am into it, but not like I am in MLB. And then I'm real excited for Elder Scrolls. Those are the two. So I got to get out of here. Can I give my shout out in the middle of the podcast?
Go ahead. Anyways.
I got to give shout out to Handel for playing GTA Online with me. I give a shout out to Ubel from VSN because he also sometimes plays Grand Theft Auto Online. I need to see if he can get on with us soon. And then of course, Dizzle, Swarley, you guys get my shout outs for our Minecraft world. Swarley, I need to get back on your server and build some stuff, man.
I'm ready.
To Med, who died, and Nub, who is still around. Shout out to you guys for the Borderlands 2, and I'll see you in there, and we'll burn everything down. And Dizzle, thanks for having me. Everything burns, baby. Thanks for having me on the podcast, Dizzle.
Team up.
Thanks for coming on, man. Have a good night. Okay, well, we're still doing the show here. We have any more thoughts about Elder Scrolls Online, more specifically about how it doesn't require PlayStation Plus to play?
That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that when you first hear it, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. But in reality, it doesn't really mean anything. Because most of the people who are probably going to pick that game up for the PlayStation already have the subscription for various other reasons. So, I mean, it's not like it's going to change anything for them. So,
I mean, Sony came out today and said PS Plus subscriptions have more than tripled since the PS4 was released.
Well,
so,
is it really that? I mean, it comes with a month. I don't know if that's still going on. It comes with a month when you purchase the system,
right?
Doesn't that really just come hand in hand with that type of stuff? Like, going in, like, if I want to play online, like, I have to get PlayStation Plus. Like, it's cool that they got the triple numbers, but
that's why it's not that big of a deal for Elder Scrolls.
No, I don't have any problem with PlayStation Plus. It's Elder Scrolls Online. It's their system that they're gonna have that's kind of had me on the fence. But I mean, it's just that announcing that. I mean, it sounds all right, but in reality, it just doesn't really mean a damn thing.
Right. But I mean, if it was something like with PlanetSide 2, when that game comes out, you don't need PS Plus. So let's say you're having a rough time and you can't re-up your subscription. You're not completely cut off. You know what I'm saying? That's something worth talking about.
It's always awesome to hear that, you're not automatically locked out. You're not put behind a paywall because you can't afford it. Like, you can still play. It's awesome. I don't know how many people other than those who are really big into Elder Scrolls or fans of Elder Scrolls and may want to jump in with their buddies or hear about this stuff, haven't played Morrowind, haven't played Oblivion, haven't played Skyrim, but maybe want to jump into this thing because they heard that, this shit's awesome and being able to play online with your friends is cool, so put two and two together. I really don't know how many people are going to start off playing on this. I really hope it's a large number, but I don't know in comparison to games like World of Warcraft or say, I don't know, fucking EverQuest 2 or some shit like that. In comparison to those, like, how big the community is going to be for this type of thing. Like, I hope it's big, but I don't know what they would do as far as, plus the subscription fees, what else you would have to put into this game in order to get the most out of it. Like, no, you said before, like, you can't break NDA. In your opinion, just the playing the beta itself, do you think this thing is worth it?
Yeah, I think that would be against the rules.
Okay. Let's say it was a game that's not. Yeah.
Look, I can say this much because I don't really care.
Okay. What are you allowed to say?
I'm going to say that if you loved or enjoyed Skyrim in the least bit, give it a shot.
See, that's my thing. I don't really care how many strangers are on there. I mean, the whole subscription thing kind of sucks, but
right, that is a complete boner kill.
But I mean, I'm not in this for any PvP verse type of stuff that may be in there. As long as I can grab a couple buddies and go raid some dungeons and whatnot, that's all I care about.
Let's get $15
a month though.
Yeah. Man, how do you feel about this whole Elder Scrolls thing? I don't care.
I mean, the thing for me is I play enough games to where I'm not going to be shelling out subscriptions for subscription after subscription for like a whole year of this. It's gonna be something that I get in June for the PS4. And I'm going to play a few months of it until, the big hits of the fall start coming out. And, if it's something that I enjoyed, maybe over the winter when gaming slows down a little bit, it's something that I'll revisit. So, I mean...
That's exactly how I feel like.
At least for me,
I feel
it's
like
not
I'm
going to cost a whole
committed to having to play it at that point. Otherwise, I'm wasting money.
I really think it's not going to be a game for casuals. I mean, it might have like certain weekends where you say, okay, well, nobody has to pay any fees. Go ahead and try it out. If you dig it, put the 15 in afterwards. Otherwise,
I mean, it's a game that when you get, you're going to have to, if you don't want to get fucked over for your money, I mean, more so than you already are, it's something that you need to really get into for at least the summer.
Like, you got to pay just to play the game on top of the subscription. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay for the game itself, which I'm sure will be $60.
Like, I'm kind of glad that it is coming out over the slow months of summer. So over the summer, it's one of the only games that I'll be playing, and I can really invest my time into it.
Yeah, I would bring up Destiny, but that's not coming out till the fall. I still want to play their beta.
I mean, I'll get into the beta, but I mean, I don't, like we were talking about earlier, I don't want to burn myself out on the game before the game itself comes out.
Okay. Speaking of burning out on games, let's talk about Microsoft acquiring the Gears of War rights. Now, they already put out 1 through 3. They put out Judgment and, probably some weirdo iPhone games coming out later on down the pike. How do you guys feel about Microsoft saying, okay, well, Epic Games, you don't want to continue to make this game for us, or the series for us, we're just going to buy it from you guys and have somebody else do it? How do you guys feel about that?
I mean...
Business as usual.
Yeah, I mean, 1 through 3, awesome games. Loved them. Judgment, didn't even play it because, plenty of other people said that it was just not up to par since it was, handed to somebody else under the Epic umbrella. And, it was something, before I sold my 360, it was just something that I wasn't high on my list. And, I don't know, it feels like 3 was a good conclusion to the series. I mean, you don't have to make 50,000 games in a series, and now that they're handing it off to a studio that hasn't, I mean, it's been around for, a year and a half or so. We have no idea what they've been working on. They have nothing out there in the public. I mean, who knows what's going to come for the next Gears game. And it's not something I even care about.
The way I see it, each of these companies are very predictable in their business plans. Nintendo's going to stick to their first party. and leave everything out. You know, everything else can pretty much go eat all the dicks. Sony, they stick to their first party, but they build something that's capable of having decent third-party support. Microsoft just buys everything.
And they don't really bring you anything new either. They stick,
exactly.
I mean, they do the Nintendo thing while
we're gonna keep giving you Halo, Gears. It's like Nintendo keeps giving us Mario and Zelda, and now we're getting Donkey Kong, because that's a big deal now. But this is the second Donkey Kong in about 3 years?
But I mean, the thing is with Microsoft is they're giving us, I mean, their games aren't really getting better. And I
think the major difference is Microsoft's fucking library isn't nearly as strong as Nintendo's. Like, Nintendo's library is, while they might be putting out the same shit, it's fucking deep in terms of franchises. Microsoft has, 4 at most?
Like, I mean, Mario 3D World. I mean, that's like the 36,000th Mario game, but it was fucking good. Gears of War Judgment, I don't know if anybody'd call that game good.
It wasn't really bad. It was just kind of, it was there. I mean, it didn't set the world on fire. I'd put it right there with fucking Arkham Origins. I'd put it right there with God of War Ascension. I mean, it follows the same with Halo 4. It's just more of the same. Play it safe. Don't push any boundaries. You know, 1 or 2 little tweaks, and you have a new game. Charge $60 for it. That's done.
Yeah, I mean, most people, the latest Microsoft games, Halo 4, Gears of War Judgment, even Forza 5, just about nobody who are fans of those series would come out and tell you that that's one of their favorite games from the series. And, yeah, they need something new.
Like Noah was saying before.
Fans. They have the fans that are happy, that will take something. I mean, look, how did Halo sell? How did Gears Judgment sell? Probably not as good, but I mean, how does Forza sell? I mean, it's basically more of the same. They don't really push new ideas, new boundaries. They know they're going to top out somewhere where they're comfortable with, and they can keep doing it.
Microsoft's really good at getting comfortable with selling these games to you, even if they haven't personally made them themselves. I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to say that Microsoft's usually being able to placate other people, saying we have all the games. If literally they have all the games made for them, and they're able to sell it on their machine. See a franchise like Gears just being passed on to some random studio. It kind of irks me in the sense that Epic was willing to just say, "Fuck it, we want to work on something else," and just it feels like they just threw away all their effort into these games. Like, once they finished out 3, they're just like, we're done and we don't care anymore. And I really feel like with Nintendo, like, they really, even if they don't have the sales numbers, like, they really care about what you do with their characters and with their franchises. They don't just, sell them out to the highest bidder and just say, okay, well,
Well, there was that one time with Metroid, but we'll talk about that.
Team Ninja, fuckers. That was a terrible game.
I wish everybody else would have just stopped caring after 3. It's where it should have ended.
Gonna make that money somehow.
They won't just let it die.
There's a profit to be made.
There's money to be printed.
There's money to be made. This is why you have definitive editions. This is why you have Game of the Year editions. This is why, Kratos has gone on, 5 different side missions in between God of War 2 and 3. There's cash to be made with this. This is why Call of Duty releases a game every year. This is why Assassin's Creed releases a game every year. There's a profit to be made.
Yeah. I really hope that with Gears, hopefully a little bit later on down the line when people just realize that more people would rather play online if they have the capability to get on there to just play the multiplayer. Like, it'll cost $30, $40. And you have to pay out the ass for DLC, but, just do a multiplayer version of Gears and just put that out there.
I wouldn't be interested in that at all.
No?
No.
You wash your hands of the entire series since they made Judgment?
I mean, I enjoy Gears for the co-op experience. I don't give a rat's ass. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who play Gears online, but I don't give a shit about it.
Look, the only thing that bothers me was, like Swarley said earlier, I mean, Gears 3 was the logical conclusion. I think obviously had their story to tell. 1 set it up, 2 continued it, 3 ended it. The way 3 ended, you can't really make more Gears after the fact, so what can you do then? Well, you can make a prequel. Does the prequel really have anything more to say? Not really. I mean, the General Ram thing said more than that, and that was DLC for Gears 3. Gears Judgment had a couple of good ideas, but they weren't really fleshed out. That whole, where if you find a gear symbol, it'll change the way the story is being presented. It seemed like a good idea in theory. The way it was executed was, well, you have 4 grenades instead of 1 grenade. Or you only have grenade launchers instead of having machine guns. Or it's all pistols. It didn't really make that big of a change in terms of what you were facing in terms of gameplay. Like, a lot of it felt really shallow. The new enemy was basically just a Battle Ram ripoff, which, if you do follow the story, why wouldn't you? It's the greatest story ever told. But if you do follow the story, whatever the story says, like, everything that the way they try to build a new character doesn't really stand compared to how they tried to build Ram. If there was this character all along, then why would Ram be such a badass when they were talking about him in Gears 1? I mean, it just doesn't match up.
The biggest problem when it comes to prologues and prequels and stuff like that, like, you can build all these different characters and all these different worlds. Like you were saying before, the prequel character versus General Ram, you eventually will end up going into the first game that ever was put out. And that's the big stopping point for a lot of these things, and why a reason a lot of them don't work. Because you can get new stories or new storylines and things like that, but you know exactly where they end up. Like, you watch the movie Titanic to watch the boat sink, but you have to wait for 3 hours to see the boat sink. Like, you know where it's going. So,
but if the build-up's worth it, then you're willing to take the journey even if you know where the destination is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
as Gears Judgment didn't really do that. It wasn't really a journey worth taking. It was alright. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. Again, it was just kind of there.
Yeah, and I'm sure Microsoft is telling Black Tusk Studios, don't change the game, and that's going to lead to something else that's probably not worth taking the journey.
Or maybe not. I mean, that's an assumption to make. I mean, I'll give them a chance depending on what it is. If they're just going to do more, side story takes on the same old war that we've done, probably not that into it. If they give you a whole new version of something where they haven't gone before, why not? I don't know what the studio is. They're unproven, so it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. Once upon a time, Rocksteady Studios was unproven. Once upon a time, Sony Santa Monica was unproven. I'm just saying, don't write off a studio before it's even released anything.
No, I'm not writing off the studio. I'm writing off Microsoft.
I just really hope they don't end up putting out something that turns into non-canon, but they have to put it out there anyways because they built it. You'll end up with stuff like Operation Raccoon City, which doesn't count, but it's still quote-unquote set in the same world.
I'll put that out there. Raccoon City was one of those things where it was so bad, it was like B-movie bad. Like, it was stupid and ridiculous. Like, you couldn't help but, laugh at it and have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a fun game, but if you're super serial into these type of series, like, you get a non-canon game that comes out through Black Tusk because it's set in the Gears of War series, it's just, a lot of people are going to be irked about it. It's like, well, this doesn't count, so why do we have to play it other than multiplayer? Because all my friends are playing multiplayer, so... I don't know. Speaking of multiplayer, there's a thing called the Golf Club, Swarley. What do you have on that?
Yeah, a new kind of a game that came out of nowhere. This new golf simulation that's coming out this spring. It's a next-gen game and for the PC. What's interesting about it is that there's no brands in the game. There's no real golf courses. Everything is procedurally generated. You can also create courses hole by hole. I mean, looking at the video, it's still kind of rough around the edges. Some animations are kind of not really what they need to be, but the ideas behind this game, how you can build your own courses can change throughout the match. I mean, you never know exactly what you're going to get the next hole, unlike, say, you're playing Tiger Woods and you're playing at TPC Sawgrass, you know exactly. You played the course tons of times over the years. You know what you're going to get. But you get these courses that are player made and ones that are built for your match. I mean, it's a really cool idea.
How do you guys feel about it? Nob?
Well, I used to be really, really down with the Tiger Woods golfing games. It's a great idea because it brings a level of strategy towards how you have to really know your game of golf to know how to attack a hole if you don't know what's coming up ahead of you. You know, like you said, knowing TPC Sawgrass, you know exactly where you have to hit at any moment. Now, it's up to you to execute it right, but you know where the hole is and the turns and the bunkers, you know, your hazards. When it's randomly generated, procedurally generated that way, it could bring something interesting to, I guess I want to say, tired sport genre, because golf, you can only get a certain amount of people into golf. It just tends to bore people. I love golf, but it's a very good idea. I'm intrigued to see how it's executed.
One of the things that I really liked was that everybody's going to be on a level playing field. There's no, like, character building with your stats. There's no, you know, you can get this golf club and it enhances this ability. You can't, like, spin your balls after you've hit them. I mean, everybody will be on a level playing field throughout. And you just go enjoy, you know, created golf courses and whatnot. And I don't know. It's an interesting idea for a genre that we've gotten pretty much the same thing for a long time now.
Indeed.
Matt, how do you feel about a procedurally generated golf course as far as a golf game?
I have no idea what the hell you just said. I've only played high shots golf. That's pretty fun if you get some people to play with you. I could not care any less about this game if I tried.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, like you, I played a lot of high shots golf, especially 3 and 4.
Is that the one with the Morpheus guy? That dude was legit.
I think that was in 4, because I remember that I had a lot of... I think that was the first game that they brought back putt-putt, or they originally put putt-putt in for old gen. That was cool as shit, and it really taught you how to work on your short game. And then I see a lot of people are really into Tiger Woods. Like we spoken on previous podcasts about Tiger Woods and how that eventually the series got marred by basically cutting off like a third of all their golf courses that they had from previous editions, and then they make you pay X amount for DLC just to be able to play them again. And to see a game like the Golf Club, they really need to give you a better name on that. To be able to see that and have randomly generated golf courses that will be able to change on the fly, rather if it's just weather effects that randomly happen. Like you'll be in the middle of a sunny day in the middle of a match, and all of a sudden it just turns into a torrential downpour, and you're still having to play. Something cool like that. Sounds awesome to me, especially if you're really into golf, because you have to change your tactics on the fly. You have to worry about your short game. You have to worry about whether you have to lay up so you don't run into the rough or you run into a fucking sand trap somewhere. And being able to play with other people online, especially on Next Gen, where EA is like, well, we're still going to put out PGA Tour golf, but Tiger Woods is not available, or we're not putting him on the cover anymore. Is there really any other reason to play the PGA Tour games other than because it's a Tiger Woods game now? So to be able to see the golf club and have other options is cool. So I hope for good things for the golf club, because there is no other semblance of golf in any other, system that we know of. So, what's the next game on the list? The one game that I've seen a lot of, and I can make immediate comparisons to other certain games that we all know and love. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Swarley, can you convince me that this is not an Assassin's Creed ripoff?
Is it an Assassin's Creed ripoff?
The beginning of their long trailer definitely looked like it. I wouldn't go as far to say that it looked like their code was in the game, because, I mean, there are plenty of movements that were different, but, I mean, you could definitely see that it was...
Just watch him climb.
I mean, there was...
vision, really.
The vision, there was him crossing those ropes between buildings. I mean, it's definitely an Assassin's Creed type game. That said, I love most of those games, and I'm excited for a game that's set in the Lord of the Rings / Hobbit universe. I'd like to know a little bit more about how the game works and kind of more on what type of game it's going to be. But I mean, they've got my attention. I'm not holding anything against them, because it highly resembles Assassin's Creed, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's no... I mean, obviously, if you're not big into games that imitate other games that are really good, that could be a problem. But like they always say, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Like,
are you telling me Assassin's Creed is good? Because I'm here to tell you no.
Oh boy,
no.
4 was good. 2 was great. 3, I've heard bad things about. And 1,
have you not heard my story on 2?
What's the story on 2?
Literally made it to the very end. I'm talking about I'm in Rome about to go kill the Pope. The end. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't even bring myself to finish the game. Because it's more of the same. It's more of the same. No, it's more of the same. It's the same. After what 1 did to me, I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
So you're blaming the faults of the ending of 2 completely on a game that everybody's basically...
I'm blaming the entire series. Blaming the entire series for a terrible first game.
Have you tried to out
no, why would I do that?
It's got pirates.
Okay.
You get to play as a pirate. That's awesome.
I could put a hook on and be a pirate, so your move, bro.
If you want to get really, really, really into, LARPing as a pirate, go ahead, man.
Just saying, if I put a hook on, I'd be a real pirate. Could you imagine me being any cooler than I currently am? That would just put me all the way over the top.
Just run around screaming roofie all day. Go ahead.
Wouldn't have to scream roofie, they'd just be sucking on my dick.
But yeah, back to the topic at hand. I like what I've seen in the game as far as what they are trying to do, but immediately seeing that this is an Assassin's Creed game based in the Lord of the Rings franchise, I really want to like it. I dig Lord of the Rings. And then immediately the 2 things came to mind, like we already talked about them, quote-unquote, ripping off Assassin's Creed, quoting me, in that I know where this is set, but how the hell are they going to sell this to people other than you get to kill orcs and shit? Like, I mean, if you try to sell this to people who are really into the Hobbit movies that are out now and have been fans of the Lord of the Rings movies and maybe fans of the book, who else is going to buy this game?
I think we need to know more about the game before we get into that discussion.
Yeah, like it's not even in beta. Like what they showed us, I guess, was the alpha, right? And trumped up graphics and stuff like that.
I mean, that was pretty much the announcement of the game.
Right, the first time we've even seen it.
Yeah, I really hope for good things for this, because if this is the start of a brand new franchise that can compete with Assassin's Creed, because where they go from the piracy games, who knows? They can hit another speed bump and make another Assassin's Creed 3 afterwards. Or they can make a better one. Who knows? Straight up multiplayer, whatever. But to see a competition for Assassin's Creed, even if it's Lord of the Rings, that's awesome. But, I want to see other stuff that you can do other than showing us a new coat of paint over in Assassin's Creed. So, man, is this another game you don't care about?
That's how much you don't care. But you talk about new coat of paint. That's literally what Assassin's Creed is. Every single one. Sometimes not even a new coat of paint. Since you were Ezio for like 3 games.
But Ezio's awesome. I will say that 4 felt very different from the rest of the series.
That's good to hear.
Because
I'm not going to even try.
It was more it was more about being a pirate, and there was very little about being an assassin in that game.
That's so.
It is.
That
it
just sounds awesome.
It was very refreshing after the turd that 3 was.
One wounded nub so much that he just can't. I felt the same way when I played 1. I was like, I cannot play this series. Like, I tried getting into other games afterwards. I just couldn't do it. I played 4. I was like, I want to go back and play. Played a little bit of 2. I liked it. And I, again, went back to 4. I'm like, I can't play any other game previous to this. I can't even touch 3. It's like 4 is the definitive edition of the Assassin's Creed games to me, just because I don't have to play as an assassin.
Like, seriously, if you were just talking about, counting off the game, talking about which ones are good and bad. When half your series is shit, if you can go ahead and say half the series is shit, you don't really have a good series.
You said that about Madden. I don't know.
I do say it about Madden, though. Like, seriously. I'm pretty consistent with my views.
You still have to explain the whole flashlight view thing to me in Madden for that 1 year, and I immediately realized it was a bad idea.
It was a terrible idea, but it was awesome at the same time. Just because people couldn't... It was too difficult for people.
Yeah. An added difficulty level to a sports game where everybody's trying to cheat is hilarious for 1
Exactly. So it really did cut back on the cheese, which is why most people ended up being Brett Favre or Peyton Manning, because they could already see the whole field.
Yeah. Let's get to the last game on the list here so we can get out of here. This is a game that Swarley personally put his own money into, and that is Kingdom Come Deliverance. Swarley, what do you have to say about this game?
I'm excited about this game. It is a medieval RPG, open world. I'm sure most everybody's played a game around that era, but the real difference is here is that it's more based in reality. There's no magic, shit like that. But where they take that kind of stuff out, they bring in things like big open field battles, like what they compare it to a lot is Braveheart. So, like, you're going to war with, like a rival town or something like that. You get those big open field battles, which should be really cool. There's a lot of the map that's actually based on real life locations. They released a video the other day that they even go into some of these old castles, and one of the heads of the studio walks through the dungeon areas underneath the castle, and they show us side by side how they've incorporated this into the game to make it somewhat historically accurate, and it looks really cool. And the thing is, they've got a backer for the game, but that guy, the reason it went on to Kickstarter was because that guy wasn't really sure if a game like this without the magic and stuff would sell, and they couldn't nobody's picked up a publisher hasn't picked up the game. So the interesting thing was they went on to Kickstarter to raise £300 for the game. They're located in England. I don't know what the equivalent is that in dollars exactly.
Like £300?
£300,000.
Okay, I'm about to say, I'm like, that's like $580, something like that.
But they made the game cheap for that. That's on like fucking, I don't know, Indiegogo or some shit.
But they achieved their initial Kickstarter goal in like 2 days, which was, they were pretty excited about that. So, it's definitely a new take on that style of RPG. I think it's really cool, and I can't wait to see what they come out with.
I dig the idea, and I know they don't have magic elements in there, but I really hope they have the whole superstition bit that they had, like back in the Dark Ages and shit. Like, people would think like somebody's a witch or somebody's a sorcerer or some shit if they knew how to mix certain chemical elements to create fire or explosions or some shit, or early gunpowder and things like that.
Alchemy.
Just have that implemented into the game. would be cool. Like, there's no magic system, but you can create gunpowder. You can make better armor if you use this amount of materials, stuff like that.
Oh, there's definitely like armor building and stuff like that.
Yeah. You said it was open world. Do you feel like this is a type of game where maybe you can work as a squire or something and work your way up to becoming a knight for whoever is the king of the realm at the time? Or is it more like, you know, you go around and you fulfill certain RPG elements like you're automatically a knight, you think? If that's a thing that you would do in the game.
I have not really looked in to see what you can choose character-wise. One thing that I did forget to mention is that this is being built with the Cry engine. So it looks pretty good.
Yeah, just being able to see that engine being used for something other than Far Cry and
Far Cry doesn't even use that anymore.
Yeah.
Since that's not with Crysis.
Yeah. So just having a good engine on essentially a Kickstarter game is awesome. It's not a text adventure game that happened to be backed by a bunch of people because they like Zork or some shit. This is some real deal shit. And I feel like it's going to be awesome because there's a lot of stuff out there that could be explored in this type of genre that isn't. Like, you have a game like Chivalry, but it's basically just deathmatch plus swords and shields and shit. So, I think it's awesome. Nobody, how do you feel about a game like this being available?
Sounds interesting, but probably something I wouldn't go out and just get like day one. It definitely have to be something that I'd have to hear word of mouth, or I normally don't listen to reviews, but I'd have to see some things for it myself.
Okay. Maddie here.
What up?
How do you feel about a sword and sorcery type of RPG game without magic being available through Kickstarter for you to play later on? You feel like it's something that you like to play?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I don't care again.
And you don't like any games of Borderlands. God damn.
It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I don't care. I don't play sword and sorcery games. It's not my deal. I'll try Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I'm looking forward to that. That's a good deal with the mod community more than anything. And because Bethesda, I love Fallout. But I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's about. I know it's a Kickstarter. I know Swarley's into it. Aside from that, I don't really care. I thought it was from the, honestly, I thought it was like a continuation of what the Kingdom of Alamor guys, I thought this was something new. I thought it was like in that universe or something. Apparently it's not.
Yeah,
I didn't play that game. I didn't play that game either.
Exist anymore.
Yeah, I didn't play that game either. I don't care.
Alright. Well, on that note, I think it's time to go. Let's do some shout-outs, some plugs and things like that before we kick rocks. Matt, you got any shout-outs?
Well, shout out to Bomber because he's not here anymore. Shout out to everybody in the Borderlands. Shout out to those bandits that died. Fuck y'all. Y'all deserve to burn in hell. Shout out to Nub, who's over my partner. Shout out to you, Jay, because you did alright. Shout out to Swarley for setting this whole thing up. Let me see. Shout out to at Grand Vertigo over on Twitter. You know, trading me Pokemon and stuff like that. I'm building up my roster. He's building up his roster. Much love to him. Shout out to James Bullock, Peter Dawson, and what was the other dude's name? R.D. Lee. Did a show earlier, East Meets West, another podcast on Club WI. Check it out. Great show. Love what they did over there. And let me see, what else? Rest in Peace Strike Team. Gonna throw that little dirt on there, pull a little liquor out for you. It was a nice time, but, you know, all things come to an end. It's cool. Let me see. Oh, as always, fuck the New York Knicks. I hate y'all with a passion. As per a promise I mentioned earlier, I hope Russell Wilson does not stub his toe and can no longer play in the Super Bowl. Alright? I hope that does not happen. Alright? And I think shout out to Shakira and Rihanna for dropping that sexy-ass video yesterday. I appreciate it.
What you're talking about.
Oh, my God, that red dress on Shakira.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways. That's it, so I got... Oh! Shout out to the dudes working on the Ninja Turtles comic. I'm glad I checked it out. Oh, and shout out to everybody in the comic book thread, holding it down, getting a lot of good tips out of them, and even shout out to Super Kevin, even though he doesn't like Spanish women for some reason.
He doesn't like any women that aren't white. Just throwing it out there.
He really is a special kind of cat, so shout out to him.
Is racism special?
No. You're special if you're racist, though.
He has a racist dick, apparently.
Oh, Jesus. No. I'm going to run the podcast to that, but you know who you are, Kevin.
Kevin has a racist dick, though. Like, he said it. I don't understand.
Well, his racist dick discriminates, all right? I think we all got a little racist cock in us, but it's mostly a preference. It's mostly a preference in most of our cases. Just putting that out there.
I don't know.
Well, on that note, we'll keep on going. No, do you have any shout-outs?
I want you to answer this question for me.
All right.
No.
Okay.
The fuck was that?
Okay. Swarley, got any shout-outs?
Oh, shout-outs to Apex, Foot, Strike. Strike is not dead. We've got some co-op games coming out with some MMOs.
You motherfuckers better be playing Destiny. I'll say that much.
Be revived.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
beat you in a dark alley otherwise.
I thought those games were under the Foot Clan banner last I checked.
Foot Clan is PvP.
Whatever. I won't bring back Magic Blue Smoke. You better recognize.
I just want to fight giant fucking robots.
I'm going to be in there.
And shout out to my fellow people over at Gamer Assault Weekly, where my Tomb Raider review will be live on Monday.
What's the site called?
Gamer Assault Weekly.
There you go. They got Twitter?
Yep.
What's the Twitter name?
GA Weekly.
Go follow them and go read Swarley's stuff. Really fucking good. He's about to finish his, yes it is. He's about to finish his Tomb Raider Definitive Edition review, by the way, by the time this podcast goes up, hopefully. So go read that as well. Any other shout out, Swarley? Did I put that amount of pressure on you?
That, from what I can think of right now, that's it.
Okay. Shout out to Bomber for being here, even though he went off to go raid some tombs. We saw that picture. Holy shit. Shout outs to Med for being here, in spirit, and in person, actually. Shout outs to Nub. Thank you for being here. Shout outs to Swarley for holding it down for us today, Mr. Producer Man himself. Shout outs for listeners like you, new and old. Thank you for coming around to listen to the 85th edition of the VSN Arcade Radio podcast. Shout outs to Foot Clan. Shout outs to Undead Strike Team, whoever you may be. And shout outs to those at virtualsportsnetwork.com. Those who haven't signed up for the forums today, go ahead and do that. Voice your opinion. We'd like to hear it, especially in our Virtual Sports Network Arcade Radio podcast thread. So you'll be able to give us feedback, what you would like to hear, what needs to be fixed, yada yada. Follow us on iTunes. Rate, subscribe to us. What's the Twitter handle for us? One more time, Swarley.
VSN Gaming.
There you go. Follow us on there. That way you get up-to-the-date information as to when and where we will be posting the podcast for this week. Past podcasts as well. I think we started putting up stuff on YouTube, right?
Yeah, our podcasts are going up on YouTube.
Yeah. So if you need to have your visual fix of, Virtual Sports Network Arcade Radio podcast logo, there you go. Check us out on there too as well. And other than that, I guess we're good. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Everybody say goodbye.
Smooches.
Laters.
I don't care.
Peace out, everybody. Thanks for listening.